Hello and welcome back to a Mad Men Big Finish review, a video series where I review one of the latest Big Finish releases. I am joined with a being of sheer will.
I no longer have my physical form. I have ascended. Oh.
Ascended? No.
No.
Sounds like a downgrade. Sorry. I am joined with Professor Pixel for this review of The Box of Terrors. The second of Big Finish's celebration of 60 years of Doctor Who. For the 60th anniversary, we've had Once and Future that is technically not finished, but also is. But this is their other one, the audio novel, The Box of Terrors, that sees the third Doctor and Sarah Jane meet the fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane against Omega. Omega. Now, I can see it. I can see it. Okay. So for The Box of Terrors, it's an audio novel, as I said earlier. Now, for me, this is the first audio novel I have listened to from Big Finish. I do have The Dead Star. I have Prisoners of London. I'll get to them eventually. But since Pixel wanted to talk about this, and the premise alone seemed just interesting. You have not only multi-Doctor with an anniversary villain, but also multi-Sarah.
Multi-Master.
Yes, this story is full of just surprises that none of us expected.
We definitely should go ahead and just say we're going to talk about the spoilers of this story.
Talk about spoilers.
We already spoiled a little bit, so you should check this out. You should check this out.
I know it's a long listen. It's almost 8.5. It's over 8.5 hours, I think, or roughly. It is worth it though, because this is the first audio novel I've listened to, and I enjoyed this. Oh my god.
This is I finished half of Emancipation of the Daleks before we all just hopped onto Chris's account.
Yeah.
Now I don't have access to it anymore. Otherwise I would continue, but I don't want to
go back to your account.
No.
Stop leeching off of me.
My crown. I am a leech.
Just download the files for it and then just listen to it.
No. Anyway, I finished half of it, and it was okay. It was okay. But Dead Star was a little rough, but there was some really good moments in it, and read by David Troughton. Not David.
Michael Troughton.
Michael Troughton.
Confusing with Troughton.
This is John Colshaw. He is my boy. John Colshaw is one of the best actors they have at Big Finish.
He's the Brigadier. He's the different masters. He's a chameleon, the best companion ever.
He is able to capture the spirit so well. Every character that's here, even Sarah, and you're listening to him be two Sarah Janes. This is a fantastic audio novel. I wish they would put it into print, because I would own this so quick.
So would I. Absolutely.
Honestly, it's so well written. The performance adds to it. Believe me, it does. The music, all that. The rocket people. Oh no, Doctor Who's gone woke. What am I gonna do? No, the rocket people, the rocket men, they're all there. That's a great aspect of it. And then the big surprise, other than Omega.
Yes. So it being an anniversary, so you have the classic anniversary thing of it being multi-Doctor. But then you have the added caveat of it being multi-same companion. Then the big surprise of start straight off from the start, the Master is in it. And then later on revealed there's another Master, so it's multi-Master as well. And then also a celebration of kind of Big Finish. You have ideas from Big Finish. You have the Rocket Men. They're a Big Finish thing. And if you haven't listened to at least the Rocket Men and I think it's Return of the Rocketmen, the two companion chronicles. They're really good. They are really, really good. I really enjoyed those stories. But then you also have the big surprise of the Six.
Yes.
One of the fan named Collective, part of the 11, is an antagonist in this story. So it's a big celebration of just like classic and big finish. There's some nods to New Who as well. Like the Shadow Proclamation gets a name drop as well. But no, I really enjoyed this. I did this in one entire sitting because I just couldn't stop it. And also, it was the day before we had to record this. So I was like, okay, I need to finish this. But I really couldn't stop it. It was so good. Just John Coleshaw, like how he carries it with his narration. I do think his performances are the master. He's good as like the Anthony Ainley master. These ones, it's like
the Delgado was great.
I thought the Delgado was fine. His Jeffrey Beavis one it sounds too close to his Anthony Ainley impression.
Yeah.
So it's like I can see you're trying to do the Jeffrey Beavis master voice, but it sounds too much like the Anthony Ainley one that you do. So I don't think you can help that.
His Ainley is so great though. Like his Ainley, I heard that. I heard a little bit of it from one of the Fifth Doctor release. No.
42.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, he's good in that. He's good in that.
He has that down. And his Roger Delgado is really good too. I think I mentioned to you for Time Lord Victorious, they basically did the story that leads to his ruined regeneration.
Yeah. Still need to listen to this. Might listen to him afterwards.
He's able to carry that tone. Just, I am the master, and you will obey me. He holds it, and like I feel it. And then I gotta talk about Omega because Omega is one of
his Omega is great.
Oh, Time Lord.
It's so good. And also, because I know that he's most known for his impersonation of Tom Baker, so I knew that he's going to get the fourth Doctor like down pat. His third Doctor I really liked as well.
I got to hear that in Short Trips Volume 12. There's a story that's just John Coleshaw. It's after the Silurians, it's dealing with that fallout of the third Doctor being upset, and basically the Brigadier chases him around the world to try and have a discussion with him. And he's able to make it sound so different, but you can tell it's still him. It's core. So I knew he could do a third Doctor impression. Whether or not I like it more than Tim Traylor is another conversation. I do actually. But
when it comes to that, I think John Coleshaw as the Brigadier is great.
Amazing.
His Brigadier is amazing.
And so for the Brigadier not to show up in this story at all, right?
Yeah, we get Benton instead, yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's fine because his performance is great. The story itself, it's such... We have these three beacons throughout the galaxy that's holding together this creation called the Sandbox. What's in the Sandbox? Who knows? And then we know it's the Six. And he's basically absorbed all the prisoners into this. I'm no longer one of the 11. I'm no longer 6. I am the multitude. And it's just like, ooh, powerful. I can feel this story. It feels so much like a classic Doctor Who story, even though it's big and expansive, way beyond what they could have done if it had come out back then. You can still feel the ideas behind it, and that's so great. I loved getting to hear some of, Time Lord. We just talked about him in the live. Barusa. I loved hearing him with his new ward, as it were, and how his new pupil, his shining pupil, has an essential part to play. and just every character.
No one's wasted in this story, character
No
wise.
waste.
Everyone serves it. Even Benton, who's not there for a lot of it. Like, everyone is utilized greatly in this story.
Yeah. Yep. And it's just great work all around. I'm just struggling to find anything to say.
Yeah, I can't really find any problems with
There's no problem
with this story. It's just so good.
I've always loved the character of Omega because, I mean, one of our creators, one of our founders, betrayed by Time Lords, locked away in an antimatter dimension to just die, and his sheer will keeping him alive. The only thing keeping him alive. There's a scene in this towards the end where he just takes everything off because he's just this being of existence. He exists because he wants to. His spite.
Literally too angry to die.
Too angry to die. And there's such tragedy. And he almost gives in so many times because the Doctor doesn't hate Omega. He understands Omega. He was shunned by his people, locked away, banished. And he could come back, but he's performed crimes against humanity that they gotta the galaxy that they gotta address if they were to bring him back. And the Doctor wants to bring Omega back, but Omega's like, no. You're offering me the chance to exist in the universe for you to put me in prison. A cushy.
My options are prison or prison. That's not life for me, Omega.
Yeah. Like, seriously, if they that's the struggle. That's the struggle. And that's Time Lord society, really. The problem. It's time for New Who to bring him back. They can redeem him. Redeem my boy.
I thought you meant the Time Lords just like bring him back and kill them again.
Like even then, he doesn't feel like he'll be accepted and all this, but it's like in that vein that he could let go. None of the Time Lords that locked him away in the beginning are still there. Like, it's been that long, at least from the viewpoint of it. I mean, what, Rassilon? Don't bring back that he's been back. Don't mention that. You don't have to. Rassilon brings back Omega and New Who because he's been shunned off by the Time Lords before they get killed by the Master. Nope. Stop. No thinking.
That won't work. That wouldn't work because Omega hates him. So
That's true. He thinks he can control him, but he can't. But no. Omega is one of those. He's a tragic villain. The performance is great always. He has a power about him that is beyond just the performance. Every word is careful. Even his look is amazing. Not his flesh pod look. That's not amazing.
The Arc of Infinity look. Yeah.
I'm so glad they went with this look because this look is great. This is my boy.
It's a classic look. It's when you think of Omega, you think of that look. Because it's like, oh, he's a Time Lord, but he's like dressed like that.
Yeah.
He looks like that, given what we've kind of seen of like the brief little looks of Time Lords. It's like that stands out.
I wonder what he looks like because they do make a mention of a corporeal form coming to him towards the end. That the Doctor
in the Timeless Children where we see Tecteun with the two Time Lords, apparently the implication is that the Time Lords at her side are Rassilon and Omega.
That doesn't even make sense now, though. Well, if Rassilon knew, I know. But that aside, it's one of the most brilliant works that we've listened to this year. It's
a better anniversary story than Once and Future. I'll absolutely
give it that.
I think it's a really good celebration of like 60 years of Doctor Who, even if it's only really borrowing from classic Who, it's still a good celebration.
Do you think it's hard to say it in this way? I'm not trying to insult it or anything. It shouldn't be, because it's brilliant. Do you think it would have been better as an audio drama?
That's tough. I don't know.
The only reason I have to say no is because there's just the span of it. Everything that's happening. You can only go so far with all your characters saying, "Oh, look, what's happening? It's swirling into a giant face."
Yeah.
The novel does it in a natural way.
Because it's a novel.
It's a novel,
Someone's reading the novel to you. Yeah.
It's helping you visualize. The
only this is one of the ones where I feel like this only works as an audio novel. It's like Scherzo can only work as an audio story. You cannot adapt Scherzo as like a live action like episode of Doctor Who, because just of like how that story works, it can only work as audio. Visual will not be the same, because the whole point of like in that story is that they can't see. It's pure white. They can't see anything. They could barely see each other. That's why I feel like most of it, the Doctor and Charlie have to hold hands because they might lose each other in this white void. So
Out of Time 3.
Or Out of Time 3, yeah.
Wink. Let's see.
So yeah, Box of Terrors, this could only work. This is only work as an audio novel.
Or a real novel. Nick Briggs, hear me out.
I know you don't do novels anymore. You stopped it, but
please,
I would read this. Given my whole, I'm starting to catch up with my novels. I'm almost done with all the new adventures I have. I'm currently on one of 2 of the missing adventures. I'm on Cold Fusion at the moment.
Please print this. Give it a Target style cover. Oh my good gosh! Can you imagine the cover for this? The track.
Target. I'd be fine with just this cover.
Well, it's
maybe just kind of condensed a little, so it fits the rectangle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But keep the Doctor Who logo in the middle, because that works. As like Omega, like
his hands
holding it. Yeah.
Though, is it Omega's hands or is it the 6? No, because the 6 has pretty much just a face.
Yeah.
But
it's not even the 6. It's 11's version of the 6.
Yeah.
That's what they say. They took the 6 out of the 11. So it's the 6.
And then at the end, they go ahead and have a scene where he's coming back for him. Put him back in.
Because it's fun. It's not as fun without you. Even though he's a violent, like, psychopath.
You remember that? Did you ever watch the classic Spider-Man cartoon?
Vaguely.
So there's an episode where Captain America is brought back out of a pretty much a space beam that he's been fighting the Red Skull in for the 70 years that he's been gone. Yeah. And at the end of the story, he has to go back with the Red Skull, and he says, "Spider-Man, it's okay. I have to do this for the good of all of us. Otherwise, the Red Skull will wreak havoc upon the Earth. But it's all right." And then it's like a classic Egyptian myth.
Yeah.
But I kind of got those vibes for the ending of this, because Omega comes back to be locked away again. And he's supposed to be running from the 6 through all time. But if the 11's 6 is taken back out of this, it's not exactly the sandbox anymore. It's like a locked sandbox, but it doesn't really exist. It's like the echo of it. If the 6 is taken out of that, that leads to Omega coming back for the 5th Doctor to face.
Maybe.
Because
probably how.
Yeah. But overall, this is just a great story. Fantastic. Yeah. If you don't have the 8 hours, then just they separate it into 6 parts. Just listen to a part at a time. It's pretty much what I did.
That's
I
how
don't
I
need
that's
parts.
how I separated with, like, I put parts 1 and 2 together, 3 and 4 together, 5 and 6 together, and it just had like quick breaks in between. Just have like lunch in between certain like combined parts.
You had
Go
lunch.
to the restroom, get a drink, whatever.
Why didn't you just wear earbuds so you could walk around?
I was listening it on my computer. I'm gonna take the whole thing with me.
You don't have the app?
I have the app, but I wasn't using my phone. I was using my.
That's how I listen to it. I go ahead, I have my earbuds in, I'm walking around, I'm doing things usually, things that won't distract me from the story, but I can just do it subconsciously. Because it just helps me move along and listen. Because if I sit down and I'm just listening to the story, eventually there will get to that point that, oh crap, I'm tired. I have to constantly keep moving, otherwise I pass out. But anyway, it's a fantastic story. I don't know if we can fairly rank it, if that makes sense. We can try, but it's like
try. Now, what would you give it out of 10? What would you give the box
out of 10?
Terrors?
Okay, as a Doctor Who story, out of 10, I think it is. I think it's a 9. I do. I want to say 10, but there's just something missing a little bit. But even then, it's not really. What did I rank the 3 Doctors?
I can't remember.
What did you rank the 3 Doctors?
I can't remember.
Off the top of your head, if you were trying to think about what you could rank the 3 Doctors.
3 Doctors? 3 Doctors, I'd probably give it an 8.
This is above that. This is a story that's a bit. I think it might be better than the 3 Doctors, which is hard to say. It's one of the best anniversary specials we've ever had. That face looked like you were judging.
No.
I think it's really spectacular. I think a 9 fits. It is so good. It's missing just like maybe a little bit of an edge. Maybe that's just because it's
different from most.
It's different.
Format's different. Yeah.
Format's completely different.
Yeah, it's a completely different format. For me, I would also give the Box of Terrors a 9 out of 10. It being the first audio novel I've listened to, I was greatly impressed by it. Loved everything in this story. John Coleshaw, his narration, his performances, excellent. He really hooks you into this story. So props to him. He's a fantastic voice actor. Absolutely. And of course, this is written by Lizzie Hopley. Great.
Brilliant.
She did, from what you would know, she did The Miniaturist from the first Noonan, first Doctor Adventures. And that was great. That was fantastic. For me, she also did One for All in the Sixth Doctor Adventures, the 11. So she has done a story before with the Collective, which is funny because also in that story, it has incarnations of the 11 separated from him.
So that it's connecting to that, or are they just?
It's probably a reference to that.
Yeah.
It doesn't connect to it because it's completely different circumstances.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the Time Lords. It's just him, like, it's just his companion, his wife, experimenting on, like, could it be done? Like, getting rid of the ones that he doesn't need, or, like, spreading his influence. Because it's like, she takes out the 1, she takes out the 8. I think that she copies versions of 3 and 6. And it also has the 6th Doctor having a version of the 1 and the 9 in his head. So you have Colin Baker doing, like, 6th Doctor versions of 1 and 9.
Don't tempt me.
It's really good. It's a fun
story.
It's a fun story.
Don't do
that. But this one, great story. Great story by Lizzie Hopley. absolutely fantastic. Great celebration of Doctor Who.
Yes. And that's pretty much the key thing.
Yeah. And I really like the cover. I do. I know I've said before, I have my gripes with this artist on certain box sets, particularly the Sixth Doctor one, just because this is the one that reused that same photo of Ruth Madeley for like 4 box sets straight.
I still don't know if that was their choice.
I don't know if that was their choice. I don't like it. But they also do the War Doctor Begins. Those covers are, consistently good. But this cover in particular as well, I think it's a great cover. It's great.
Thank you.
Simple. It's a simple cover that works. It doesn't have to be like MCU-esque poster that a lot of the covers are doing nowadays. It's like, some work, some don't. But it just works. It's a good cover. I like it.
There we go.
So that is it for our review of the Box of Terrors, one of Big Finish's 60th anniversary celebration stories. If you've listened to the Box of Terrors, let us know your thoughts below in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Remember to check out any of my previous reviews, any of our previous videos. Remember to tune into our weekly live stream. We're back with new Doctor Who almost every week. Woo! 60th anniversary. Topical. It fits in. This is 60th anniversary special. Those are 60th anniversary specials. But that is all. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you all in the next one. Alonzi. Thought I was going to say ciao, wasn't I? Ha ha.
Geronimo!